Ladies and gentlemen, there is a question that burns in the hearts of many but is asked by only a few with real seriousness. Do you want consistent success? If your answer is yes, and I trust it is, then understand this truth: success is never an accident. It is a deliberate creation of the mind, shaped through definite purpose and a burning desire to attain it. No man or woman rises to greatness by chance. The foundation of success begins with clarity. What do you want? What are you willing to give for it? If your answer is vague, your results will be scattered. But if your aim is definite and your will is unwavering, success will begin to take root. You see, consistency in success does not come from wishful thinking. It comes from disciplined thought and relentless effort. Success does not respond to laziness. It responds to effort repeated daily, no matter how small that effort may seem. The man who succeeds is not the one who works only when inspired. He is the one who works even when inspiration has vanished, because he is driven by vision. Temporary failure will try to shake you. It will disguise itself as rejection, delay, even ridicule. But mark my words, failure is not your enemy. It is your instructor. It reveals to you what does not work so that you may find what does. If you run from failure, you also run from success. But if you study it, rise from it, and press forward with renewed wisdom, you become undefeatable. Your mind is the most powerful tool in your possession. Train it to dwell on victory, feed it faith, starve it of doubt. When you command your thoughts to serve your purpose, your actions will follow with precision. Success is first won in the mind, long before it manifests in the world. And remember, faith is essential. Not faith in chance or the approval of others, but faith in yourself, your plan, your purpose. Without it, effort becomes exhausting, but with it, effort becomes divine. So I ask you again, do you want consistent success? Then begin with your mind, fuel your desire, act with persistence, and hold unwavering faith in the out. Success, my friends, is not something you chase. It is something you build every single day. Success, in its truest and most lasting form, never arrives by accident. It does not favor the faint of heart, nor does it reward the aimless wanderer. If one studies the lives of the most successful men and women throughout history, a single thread runs through them all. They possessed a clear, unwavering purpose. They knew what they wanted, and they wanted it with a passion so intense that nothing could dissuade them. It is not enough to merely wish for success. Wishes are idle fantasies unless they are harnessed to a definite purpose. A man may wish to be wealthy, to be admired, to make a difference in the world. But if his desire has no focus, it is as useless as a ship with no rudder, adrift at sea and subject to every shifting current. Definiteness of purpose is the cornerstone of all achievement. A person who knows precisely what they want stands head and shoulders above the one who hopes vaguely for something better. The universe does not reward those who are unclear. It cannot move in the service of a confused mind. A person with a definite goal, however, commands the forces of life with the power of intention. That intention becomes a magnet, drawing to it people, opportunities, and resources. The moment an individual decides with finality what they will accomplish, they light a fire within themselves that begins to attract the exact means necessary to turn that desire into reality. But purpose alone is not sufficient. A man may have a goal, yet remain indifferent toward it. This, too, leads to nothing. A purpose must be inflamed with desire, not a lukewarm interest, not a passing preference, but a burning desire, a white, hot obsession that takes hold of the imagination and refuses to let go. Desire is the fuel that powers the engine of persistence. Without it, even the clearest goal will fade into the background of daily distractions and minor setbacks. With it, however, even the most daunting obstacles become stepping stones, because the mind is consumed by the pursuit of its chosen aim. Desire of this nature is not ordinary. It is not mere enthusiasm. It is a fire that begins in the heart and then spreads to every action, every thought, and every decision. The man who possesses it cannot be talked out of his dream. He cannot be discouraged by failure, nor dissuaded by delay. For him, The goal is already real in his mind, and all that remains is to bring it into physical form. This kind of desire transforms a person. It sharpens their focus, strengthens their resolve, and awakens within them abilities they did not know they had. The timid become bold, the uncertain become determined, the dreamers become doers. Let it be known that every success begins with this formula: a clear purpose combined with an unquenchable desire. Think of the man who rises from poverty to great wealth. Did he do so by accident? No. He began by seeing himself in possession of wealth, long before the first dollar arrived. He held that vision so strongly in his mind that it became his guiding light. Every action he took was aligned with that purpose. Every difficulty he faced was met with the belief that he would overcome, because he had something greater pulling him forward. His purpose was definite, his desire unstoppable. Likewise, consider the inventor who spends years working on a single idea. The world may call him mad, they may ridicule his failures, laugh at his attempts, dismiss his obsession, but the inventor is not deterred, for he has seen in his mind what others cannot yet see. His purpose is clear: to bring his invention into the world. His desire burns so fiercely that no rejection can extinguish it. And so, in time, what once seemed impossible becomes a reality, not because he was lucky, but because he was purposeful, and his desire was greater than his fear. It is vital to understand that purpose gives direction, but desire gives motion. A man with a purpose and no desire is like a car without fuel. He may sit in the driver's seat, map in hand, engine cold. He knows where he wants to go, but he lacks the energy to move. On the other hand, desire without purpose is energy without aim. It may burn hot, but it burns out quickly, for it lacks focus. Combine them, however, and you have a force of nature. A definite purpose acts as the compass, and burning desire the wind that fills the sails. Together they lead to consistent progress. Many people drift through life, busy but ineffective, active but unfulfilled. Why? Because they have never taken the time to decide with clarity what they want. They may work hard, but their efforts are scattered. They jump from goal to goal, chasing fads, following trends, reacting to circumstances. They hope success will come to them, but success only comes to those who pursue it with precision and passion. The tragedy is not that people fail. The real tragedy is that most never begin with a purpose worth failing for. They fear choosing the wrong thing, so they choose nothing at all. They fear the fire of desire might consume them, so they live in the safe shadows of lukewarm ambition. But greatness has never belonged to the indifferent. It belongs to the focused, the driven, the committed. When a man chooses a purpose and backs it with burning desire, he steps into a different category of human being. He no longer waits for life to deliver opportunities. He creates them. He no longer watches others succeed with envy. He studies, adapts, and takes action. He no longer lets fear guide him. He lets vision lead him. Such a person becomes unstoppable, not because he is stronger than others, but because he has something to fight for. Let there be no misunderstanding. Success is not handed out at random. It is not the result of luck, nor mere talent, nor favorable circumstances. It is the natural outcome of a cause set in motion, definite purpose and burning desire. Those who refuse to decide what they want will forever live at the mercy of those who have. Those who lack desire will serve those who burn with it. But those who possess both, who know what they want, and are consumed by the need to achieve it, these individuals write history. They build empires, they shape the future. Purpose and desire are the invisible architects of achievement. You cannot see them, but their influence is everywhere. Every towering structure, every revolutionary idea, every great fortune, every powerful movement, it all began in the invisible realm of thought. Someone dared to say, "This I will do," and they meant it. And they acted upon it, and they refused to give up until it became real. Do not let another day pass in vague ambition. Choose your purpose with precision. Let that purpose take hold of your imagination. Feed it daily, speak of it, think of it, dream of it, and then let desire take root, let it grow wild, let it push you forward, let it wake you early and keep you up late, let it demand more from you than you ever thought you could give. That is the price of success, and it is a price worth paying. Success does not bow to the indecisive. It answers only to those who know what they want and are willing to give their life in pursuit of it. A definite purpose, powered by burning desire, is more than a path to success. It is the essence of it. For in such a mind all things become possible. There is no mystery in success. It follows the same principles for every man and woman who attains it. And among these principles, consistency reigns supreme. You may begin with a dream. You may even possess a burning desire to reach your goal. But unless you move forward with disciplined thought and persistent action, every single day, that desire will wither, and your dream will remain only a fantasy. Success does not yield itself to the occasional burst of effort or the inspiration of the moment. It bends only to the steady, deliberate hand of the consistent thinker and doer. Consistency is the companion of mastery. Think of the man who trains his body to great strength. He does not lift the heaviest weight once and call himself strong. He lifts moderate weights daily without fail. He does not quit when tired. He does not wait until he feels like it. His discipline is not dependent on mood. His progress is built on repetition. So it is in every realm of life: business, leadership, art, wealth, invention. The consistent man, though he may begin modestly, surpasses the talented man who acts only when conditions are perfect. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is forged through decision and strengthened through practice. It begins in the mind. It is a choice to direct your thoughts, to control your impulses, and to prioritize long-term purpose over short-term pleasure. The undisciplined mind wanders. It resists order. It craves distraction. But the disciplined mind becomes a tool of precision. It focuses on what matters. It refuses to be swayed by moods or the opinions of the masses. It is the mind of a builder, the man who lays one brick every day until the castle stands tall. Let no one deceive you. Disciplined thought is rare. Most men allow their thoughts to be determined by the external world, by news, by gossip, by fear, by envy. But the one who achieves lasting success takes control of his mental environment. He plants thoughts that serve his purpose and weeds out the ones that hinder him. He understands that thought is the seed of action, and therefore guards his mind as the farmer guards his most fertile soil. He feeds it ideas that empower him. He rejects beliefs that weaken him. He reflects, he studies, he focuses, because he knows what the mind dwells on, the man becomes. When the mind is disciplined, action follows. But not just any action, persistent action. That means doing what needs to be done, not once, not when it's convenient, not only when inspired, but day after day with a sense of sacred duty. Persistence is not an event. It is a habit. It is the willingness to keep showing up, even when the reward is not immediate, even when results are slow, even when you are tired, discouraged, or tempted to quit. The persistent man has trained himself to act without excuses. He understands that progress is measured not in leaps, but in steady steps. Look at the man who builds a great fortune. Most see only the final result, the house, the car, the lifestyle. They do not see the years of daily effort, the long hours spent studying, negotiating, refining his craft. They do not see the times he failed, the doubts he overcame, or the sacrifices he made. But those who understand success know the truth. It was consistency, not luck, that brought him victory. He acted with purpose every day, even when no one was watching, even when no praise was given. He did not wait for opportunity to come. He prepared himself until opportunity had no choice but to arrive. There are those who confuse intensity with consistency. They work hard for a day or a week, then burn out and fall back. This is not the path to greatness. True power lies not in explosive effort, but in sustained effort. It is better to do a small thing daily than a great thing once. The man who writes a single page every day will finish a book. The one who trains for an hour every day will transform his body. The entrepreneur who refines his business daily will outgrow the one who hustles hard only when motivated. Success does not reward speed. It rewards endurance. Consistency requires that you become your own master. There will be days when you do not feel like showing up, days when results are invisible, days when you are tempted to compare yourself to others or to give in to distraction. But the consistent man has already made a decision. He is not ruled by feelings. He is ruled by his purpose. He shows up anyway. He understands that action taken in the absence of emotion is the truest form of commitment. Discipline turns wishful thinking into measurable progress. Persistence turns intention into accomplishment. The world is filled with people who start strong and finish nowhere. They begin projects, set goals, chase dreams, but when discomfort arrives, they abandon the mission. They lack the grit to keep going. They forget that the universe tests those who seek success. It does not give its rewards freely. It demands proof, proof in the form of unwavering action. It asks, how badly do you want it? And it waits to see who will persist, not for a moment, but for as long as it takes. Consistency also brings clarity. When you act persistently, you learn, you adapt, you discover what works and what does not. Each step reveals new insight. Each effort sharpens your understanding. Inconsistent action, on the other hand, produces confusion. You take one step forward, then 2 steps back. You lose momentum. You forget your purpose. But when you act daily, even imperfectly, your vision becomes sharper, your plan becomes clearer, and your belief in yourself deepens. You do not need to have it all figured out to begin. You need only to begin and never stop. There is no magic to success. It does not require genius, wealth, or charm. It requires consistency. It requires that you decide what you want, discipline your mind to think in harmony with that desire, and then act with determination until the result is yours. This principle applies in every field, in every age, in every corner of the world. The great artist paints every day. The great leader learns every day. The great builder lays stone after stone. They do not wait for inspiration. They are consistent because they are devoted. Your future is not determined by your circumstances. It is determined by your patterns, the thoughts you think repeatedly, the actions you take consistently, and the habits you reinforce daily. These are the architects of your destiny. If you want a different life, you do not need to change everything at once. You need to change what you do every day. Do it with intention. Do it with patience. Do it without excuse. This is the hidden law that separates those who try from those who triumph. Every man has the ability to be consistent, but few accept the responsibility. They think success is reserved for those with special advantages, but success is reserved for those who refuse to quit. The road is not always easy, but it is always clear. Make a plan, discipline your thoughts, take persistent action. Let no day pass without progress. Let no failure stop your forward motion. Let no excuse override your purpose. The man who does this day after day will achieve more in a year than others achieve in a decade. This is not theory, it is law. It is the law that has built empires, transformed lives, and lifted ordinary men to extraordinary heights. Consistency is not glamorous, it is not dramatic, but it is powerful beyond measure. It is the quiet force that moves mountains, builds legacies, and makes dreams real. It begins with a choice to think deliberately, a choice to act persistently, a choice to live with purpose, no matter how you feel, no matter who doubts you, and no matter how long it takes. There is a dangerous idea that has taken root in the minds of many, the belief that failure means the end, that to stumble is to lose, that a setback is a signal to turn back. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, failure is the language of success, its teacher, its guide, its most loyal companion. The man who achieves anything worthwhile in this life must come to understand this. Temporary failure is not defeat, it is instruction. It is not there to destroy you, but to develop you. Failure, when rightly understood, is never the enemy. It is a signal that something must be learned. It is a correction, not a condemnation. When a man sets out on the path of purpose, he is bound to meet resistance. He will face obstacles. His plans may fall short. His timing may be off. His efforts may not produce the result he anticipated. But if he sees these moments as defeat, he forfeits the very education that was intended to carry him to success. The wise man does not run from failure. He studies it. He asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" And then he listens. Think of the inventor who tries 100 combinations before he finds the right one. If he had stopped at the 10th failure, or the 20th, or the 50th, the world would never know his name. But he did not see failure as defeat. He saw it as data. He said, "I have not failed. I have simply found another way that does not work." Every error was a step closer to truth. Every disappointment was a necessary elimination of the wrong direction. The man who understands this principle is indestructible, for he cannot be broken by failure. He is strengthened by it. Failure tests resolve. It asks whether your desire is strong or shallow. Many begin the journey with enthusiasm, but when the first obstacle appears, they doubt themselves. They say, "Maybe this isn't for me," and turn back. But success belongs to those who keep walking. Failure draws a line in the sand and asks, "Will you cross it?" Those who do are never the same, for in the act of continuing, something within them shifts. They develop character, they develop endurance, and more than that. They prove to themselves that they are serious. There is a story behind every great success, and within that story, failure appears not once, but often. It is the seasoning of every achievement. It humbles the arrogant, it sharpens the focused, it eliminates the uncommitted. Failure will strip away illusions and force a man to examine his plan, his habits, his beliefs. If he is wise, he will adjust, he will refine his strategy, he will return stronger, but if he is prideful or afraid, he will walk away, never knowing how close he came to victory. There are men who have failed for years before succeeding once, and that one success changed the world. Failure also performs another function. It builds resilience. The man who has failed and risen again walks differently than the man who has never been tested. He has tasted defeat, but he has not been defined by it. He knows the strength that lives within him because he has called upon it in his darkest hour. He has stood in the ruins of a plan that did not work and chosen to rebuild. Such a man is to be respected, for he possesses a power that comfort can never produce, the power to persist in the face of pain. You will never meet a truly successful person who has not known failure. Ask them. Ask the millionaire, the innovator, the statesman, the leader. They will tell you stories of rejection, of mistakes, of lost opportunities. But they will also tell you this: every failure taught them something, and without those lessons, they would not be where they are. Failure forced them to evolve, to think deeper, to train harder, to choose again. Each fall became a chapter in the story, not the end of the story. The greatest trap is not failure, but fear of failure. It paralyzes more people than defeat ever could. The man who is afraid to fail will not take risks. He will not step outside of what is safe or known. He will play small, speak softly, aim low, but in doing so, he also limits his potential. The truth is that failure cannot harm you unless you allow it to. It is not the fall that ruins a man. It is staying down when he could rise. Once you understand that failure is simply part of the price, you no longer fear it. You embrace it, you use it. A wise man prepares for failure, not with despair, but with determination. He does not expect the path to be smooth. He expects to adapt. He expects to be challenged, and when those challenges come, he does not panic. He does not curse his fate. He gets to work. He remembers his purpose. He reviews his plan. He regains his composure and moves forward with more intelligence than before. This is how real success is built, not by avoiding failure, but by using it. The soil must be tilled before the harvest can grow. The athlete must endure pain before he breaks a record. The writer must face rejection before a book is published. The entrepreneur must face setbacks before the business thrives. It is a law of nature. Growth requires friction. Strength is born from resistance. Mastery is shaped by mistakes. The man who pretends he can bypass failure has not yet begun the journey, but the man who welcomes it as his tutor has already begun to win. Do not envy those who appear to succeed effortlessly. Their story is incomplete. The polished result you see today was once an unfinished mess. The confidence you admire was once insecurity met with persistence. The strategy you praise was once a string of errors and corrections. What separates them from others is not perfection, but the way they responded to failure. They refused to see it as the end. They refused to let it define them. And because of that, they learned, they grew, and eventually, they conquered. Every failure carries a message. Some teach patience, some teach preparation. Others teach the value of humility or the importance of timing. If you pay attention, failure becomes your ally. It reveals your blind spots. It humbles your ego. It tests your faith. And if you do not let it harden you, it will shape you into someone who cannot be shaken. That is the true gift of failure. It does not just teach you how to succeed. It teaches you how to become someone who deserves success. There will be moments when the weight of failure feels unbearable. When doubt creeps in and whispers that you are wasting your time, in those moments you must remember why you began. You must remember that every great achievement was once considered impossible, that every champion was once a beginner, that every legacy began with a decision to rise after falling. It is not the man who avoids failure who wins. It is the man who outlasts it. There are lessons that cannot be taught in comfort. There is wisdom that only comes from pain. There is strength that only comes from being broken and rebuilt. The man who sees this, who understands the divine purpose behind every fall, is the man who becomes unstoppable. He knows that the road to success is paved with failure, but he walks it anyway. And in doing so, he becomes more than a man with a goal. He becomes a force with a mission. So when failure comes, and it will, do not curse it, thank it, study it, grow from it, use it. For in that failure lies the very instruction you need to succeed beyond anything you've ever imagined. The secret to a man's success is not written in the stars. It is written in his habits. You may speak of goals, you may speak of dreams, you may fill your notebook with affirmations and vision boards, but unless your daily actions align with those desires, they will never materialize. The world does not reward wishes. It rewards discipline, and discipline is made visible through habits. Your habits are the builders of your destiny. They shape your character, your competence, your confidence. They are the silent workers of your future. Each day, whether you are conscious of it or not, you are laying bricks on the foundation of your life. Some build carelessly, choosing ease over effort, distraction over focus, delay over action. Others build with intention, knowing that what they do today determines what they will be tomorrow. Show me the habits of a man, and I will show you his future. For success is not achieved in one grand moment of inspiration. It is the result of hundreds of small, consistent decisions, each one either strengthening your potential or stealing from it. A habit is not formed by chance. It is formed by choice, and then repeated until it becomes automatic. The man who rises early to read, to plan, to think, does not do so because he was born different. He does so because he decided to. The woman who disciplines her body, her finances, her time, she was not gifted with superhuman strength. She trained herself, slowly but steadily, until her good habits became her way of life. And once they became her life, her results changed, not overnight, but inevitably. There is no escaping this truth. Your results are a reflection of your rituals. If you are not achieving what you want, look first to your habits. Do you act with urgency, or do you procrastinate? Do you invest your time, or do you waste it? Do you speak with intention, or do you speak without thought? Your habits of thought, your habits of speech, your habits of action, they are writing your future in permanent ink. If you desire wealth, cultivate habits that produce wealth. If you desire leadership, practice the habits of leaders. If you desire peace, adopt the habits of peaceful men. Your desires mean nothing without the discipline to back them. Many people wish to change their lives, but few are willing to change their habits. They want new results but cling to old routines. They desire success but remain loyal to the comfort of their current patterns. This is the great deception. Change does not come from information. It comes from transformation. And transformation begins with what you do every single day. The moment you choose a new habit is the moment you begin to shape a new identity. Your identity is not fixed. It is formed, and the tools of its formation are your repeated behaviors. Your habits are not only what you do, they are also what you tolerate. If you tolerate excuses, you will build a life of mediocrity. If you tolerate laziness, you will build a future filled with regret. But if you demand excellence from yourself, even in the smallest actions, you will begin to attract the life that excellence creates. The world reflects what you consistently project. If you act like a person of value, you will become one. If you behave like a man with vision, clarity, and integrity, you will step into the life that such a man earns. Understand this. Success is not a destination you stumble upon. It is a structure you build, brick by brick, with daily disciplines. It is earned through repetition. It is crafted through the mundane. The man who waits for motivation will be forever inconsistent. The man who builds habits does not need motivation. He has momentum. His routines carry him. His systems protect him from failure. His habits work for him even when he is tired, distracted, or discouraged. This is why the most powerful investment you can make is not in external tools or tricks, but in building ironclad routines. Habits also reveal what you truly believe. You may say you value health, but your habits will show whether that is true. You may claim you want financial freedom, but your spending habits will speak louder than your words. Your routines expose your values far more clearly than your speeches. This is why true success requires self-honesty. You must examine your habits with brutal clarity. Are they moving you closer to your purpose or pulling you away from it? Are they building strength or feeding weakness? A man must audit his habits with the same seriousness he audits his finances, because they are his true wealth. There is no habit too small to matter. Greatness is built not through grand gestures, but through consistent practices. The man who writes one paragraph a day will eventually write a book. The man who saves a small sum every week will eventually become wealthy. The man who chooses kindness, gratitude, and resilience in the small moments will become a pillar of strength in the large ones. Never underestimate the compounding power of small, good habits. Time rewards those who honor it. Equally important is your ability to break destructive habits. Just as good habits build, bad habits erode. They drain your time, your energy, your confidence. They delay your goals and distort your self-image. To eliminate a bad habit, you must first understand its root. Why do you do it? What reward does it give you? And then you must replace it, not with nothing but with a better habit. You cannot simply subtract, you must substitute. Nature abhors a vacuum, so fill the void with action that uplifts, strengthens, and supports your ideal self. No one becomes excellent by accident. The mind must be trained, the body must be disciplined, the spirit must be nourished, and this training happens through daily acts, not yearly resolutions. There is no elite version of you waiting to be discovered. There is only the version you create through habit. The man who succeeds has not avoided failure. He has built habits that made failure irrelevant. For every time he fell, his habits carried him back to his feet. The future does not arrive all at once. It arrives in pieces, one morning, one decision, one routine at a time. If your habits are poor, your future will be painful. But if your habits are noble, consistent, and purpose-driven, your future will be prosperous. This is a truth older than any textbook and stronger than any circumstance. What you do consistently, you become permanently. Habits do not care whether you are rich or poor, educated or uneducated, confident or uncertain. They will work for you if you build them. They will work against you if you neglect them. They are impartial builders. They follow your commands, so you must take command. You must decide what kind of man you wish to become, and then live as if you already are him. Choose habits that reflect your destiny, not your history. Begin where you are. Do not wait for perfect conditions. You build the habit, and the habit will build you. With each repetition, you cast a vote for the man you are becoming. One day, the vote becomes unanimous, and that day, success becomes inevitable, not because of luck, not because of charm, but because you aligned your habits with your highest vision. It is not enough to wish for success. You must become the kind of person to whom success is drawn, and the path to becoming that person is paved with habits. So rise with purpose, act with discipline, repeat with conviction, and let your habits do what they were made to do. Build your destiny. There are many who want success, but very few who are willing to give what it truly demands. They wish for it, speak of it, even work for it, for a while, but their effort is like a firework, a brief flash in the sky, followed by silence and smoke. The truth is this: success does not respond to occasional effort. It demands a lifetime of commitment. It is not something you chase when convenient, or pursue when the mood strikes. It is something you marry. You live with it, think with it, walk with it. Every decision, every action, every thought is aligned with it. Success is not seasonal, it is sacred. The man who achieves anything of real worth in this world is the man who has made a covenant with persistence. He has decided that no matter the obstacle, no matter the delay, no matter the discomfort, he will stay the course. His resolve is not based on emotion, it is rooted in purpose. There will be days when inspiration fades. There will be seasons when progress slows. There will be times when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when nothing seems to be moving. But he continues. He does not ask whether it's easy. He asks whether it's necessary. And when the answer is yes, he acts. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They do not persist long enough to see the reward of their labor. They try, then quit. Start, then stop, begin again, only to abandon it once more. But the man who succeeds is the man who continues, even when the excitement has worn off, even when the results are invisible, even when others have walked away. He understands that commitment is not proven in the first mile, but in the 100th. Not when everything is new, but when everything is hard. This kind of commitment is not loud. It does not always look heroic. It is quiet, disciplined, invisible to the world. It is seen in the early mornings, the late nights, the hours of preparation no one applauds. It is found in the man who keeps studying, keeps building, keeps refining, while the rest are sleeping or doubting. He is not addicted to comfort, he is addicted to growth, and because of that, time eventually rewards him, not because he was lucky, but because he stayed when others left, he endured when others escaped. He made the decision once, and then lived by that decision daily. There is a law of nature that cannot be broken. You do not reap what you desire, you reap what you sow, and you must sow consistently, not occasionally. The soil of life does not respond to scattered effort, it responds to focused, repeated action. Just as a farmer cannot plant seeds once and expect a harvest forever, you cannot give half your heart and expect full results. You must return daily to the field of your dreams, water it, tend it, guard it, and wait patiently, and in time the harvest comes, not by accident but by law. Success is not a one-time event, it is a continual process. It does not arrive suddenly, it is built gradually, and the materials are your daily choices. If your effort is part-time, your results will be temporary. If your energy is divided, your outcome will be diluted. But when you commit fully, mind, body, and soul, something shifts, life begins to respond, people take notice, opportunities appear, but only because you refuse to give up when it seemed like nothing was working. Understand that success tests everyone. It does not yield easily. It hides behind resistance. It waits behind long hours. It lives on the other side of fatigue and repetition, and it watches to see if you are serious. If you are easily discouraged, if you are distracted by comfort or overwhelmed by slow progress, it will remain hidden. But if you are committed beyond feelings, if you rise when others rest, if you act when others wait, success will reveal itself. It will not come to the wishful, it will come to the warrior. Too many people fall into the trap of believing that one great effort, one perfect idea, one bold move will change their life. But success does not work that way. It is not a game of jackpots. It is a game of inches. The world does not remember the man who tried hard once. It remembers the man who gave everything, every time, the one who poured his energy into every detail. The one who was excellent even when no one was watching. That is the man success respects. That is the man life cannot ignore. There will be distractions. There will be critics. There will be doubt, both from others and within your own mind. But commitment silences doubt, not through argument, but through action. You do not need to explain yourself to those who do not understand your journey. You need only to keep moving forward, one more step, one more call, one more page, one more day. This is how empires are built, not through inspiration, but through endurance. Commitment is also what protects you from yourself, because your greatest enemy will not be failure or rejection or competition. It will be your own excuses, your own comfort, your own inner voice telling you that you've done enough, that it's okay to stop, that no one will know. But you will know. And so you must train yourself to act regardless of mood. You must discipline your emotions. You must remind yourself that temporary ease is never worth permanent regret. The man who lives by commitment becomes stronger than his weakness, braver than his fear, and more faithful than his fatigue. Do not seek comfort, seek commitment, for comfort will rob you of greatness. It will make you soft, passive, and forgettable, but commitment will refine you. It will stretch you, sharpen you, and elevate you. And though the path may be longer, though the nights may be harder, though the reward may be delayed, it will come. And when it does, it will be sweeter, because you will know that you earned it. Every inch, every dollar, every moment, paid for by the currency of relentless effort. The champions of life are not always the most gifted, but they are always the most committed. They outlast the competition. They outperform the average. They do not stop when tired. They stop when finished. They live with urgency. They speak with clarity, and they act with conviction. Their name becomes synonymous with consistency, and in a world full of starters, they are finishers. That is what separates them. That is what builds their legacy. You must ask yourself, what are you willing to give your life to? What are you willing to suffer for, sacrifice for, and stand for? Because if you are only committed when it is easy, you are not truly committed. But if you can remain loyal to the process in the face of pain, boredom, and doubt, you are on the path that few walk, but many admire. It is not crowded, it is not convenient, but it is rich, rich in growth, rich in wisdom, rich in rewards that cannot be bought, only earned. You were not born to live a life of scattered efforts and forgotten dreams. You were born to rise, to commit, to endure, and to succeed. And the bridge between where you are and where you want to be is paved with daily, determined effort. Give it all, every day, without excuse, without apology, for that is the price of greatness. And those who pay it in full will never leave this world as they came. They will leave it better, stronger, bolder, and remembered.